Hello, my dear students. I welcome the 11th class standard students. Today, let us learn what is described in chapter 2 of unit 1. The chapter 2 deals with biological classification. The classification of living organisms, how are they classified? What type of classifications have been proposed from time to time? This is described in 6 sections. Section 1 deals with the kingdom Monera. In your textbook, the classification proposed by R.H. Whitaker is followed. So, according to that, the sections are taken. Kingdom Monera includes eubacteria, Archaebacteria. These are most abundant in all habitats. Everywhere where the life is not expected, microscopic, they are prokaryotic without organized nucleus, cell wall present but except in mycoplasma. This is very important. In mycoplasma organisms, there is no cell wall. But in all other Monera members, cell wall is present. No, but non-cellulosic. In plants, the cell wall is cellulosic, but here it is not cellulosic. Made up of some polysaccharides, amino acids. Body organization, unicellular. Nutrition, autotrophic. This autotrophic nutrition may be again phototrophic or chemosynthetic by oxidizing the reduced inorganic substances. Parasitic or saprophytic, exhibit a wide variation in metabolic activities. Bacteria, if you see, there are almost all types of metabolic activities. Very interesting. Fermentation, aerobic respiration, anaerobic respiration, different types of photosynthesis. You find a range of metabolic functions, interesting metabolic functions. So these are the morphological forms of bacteria. Round ball-like structures, cocci, singular number coccus. 2 attached to each other, diplococcus. 4 tetracoccus. Streptococcus in a chain, in a single row, streptococcus. Sarcina in groups. This is another sarcina. Then bacillus, rod shaped. Diplobacillus, 2 bacilli attached to each other occur. Then streptobacillus, Vibrio, comma shaped with single flagellum. This is spirillum, spiral shape. Then there are some bacteria which are pleomorphic. At different times they appear in different shapes. So these are morphological forms of bacteria. Then bacteria structure. This distribution of flagella, atrichous without flagella, single flagellum on one side, monotrichous, a tuft of flagella on one side, lophotrochus, 2 tufts of flagella on either side, amphitrichous, flagella many evenly distributed all over the body, peritrichous. This is bacterial cell structure. A rod-shaped bacterium is taken. This is outer envelope. In different bacteria, it will be called as capsule or slime layer. shown in dotted form. The cell wall, then plasma membrane. This is cytoplasm. In cytoplasm, the most important part is nucleoid. It consists of double-stranded DNA, then ribosomes. Here ribosomes are 70S type, 50S plus 30S, 70S type. Then reserve food material, inclusion bodies, either PHP, polyhydroxybutyrate granules, or volatile granules, polyphosphates. Then some invasions of the cell membrane called mesosome. This is mesosome. Then from the surface there arise minute hair-like structures. These are called pili or singular number pilus. Flagella are different. This is flagellum. This is pilus. Then here and there some gas vacuoles. So this is the structure of a typical bacterium. Outer envelope, cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleoid, the various types of cell organelles, mainly ribosomes, inclusion bodies. Then on the surface, pili and flagellum, inside here and there according to the bacterium gas vacuoles. This is the structure of flagellum. It consists of a basal plate, hook, filament. The terminal part is filament, middle part is hook, and the basal part is basal plate. There are two types of bacteria, gram positive, gram negative. Gram positive, gram negative. This is a gram negative bacterium, gram positive bacterium. In gram positive bacterium, the cell wall is thick. This is cell wall. This is cell membrane. Here cell wall is thin. So gram positive, gram negative bacteria can be differentiated based upon the staining known as Gram staining developed by Christian Gram. This is another view of ultrastructure of the bacterial cell. The same. This is mucilaginous layer, mesosomes, nucleoid, plasma membrane, volatile granules, cell walls. Another group of Monera is Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. Archae means very ancient, very old. Archaeological Survey of India, ASI, very old. Archaebacteria are very interesting from ecological point of view, from biochemistry point of view, from molecular biology point of view. At the same time, they are important in biotechnology. They are important in industry. Archaebacteria means ancient bacteria, very old bacteria, now treated as a separate domain in kingdom, separate from eubacteria. As we have discussed in this class, Carl Lewis proposed 3 domains: Archaebacteria, eubacteria, eukarya. He gave a separate kingdom status, domain status to the Archaebacteria. But in Whitaker's classification, these are included in Monera. Live in most extreme habitats where very harsh conditions are there from one point of view or another. Very harsh conditions where we cannot expect life. Wonder whether the life exists in such conditions, such as high salt concentration, very high salt concentration. For example, Dead Sea, salt concentration is very high. Some bacteria live Dunaniella. Such bacteria are called halophiles. Some archaebacteria live under high acidic and high temperature condition. For example, hot water springs are there where acidic conditions and high temperature 70, 80, even 100 degrees centigrade. In such conditions also some archaebacteria survive. They are called acidothermophiles. They love the acidic conditions. They love the high temperature conditions. Anaerobic marshy areas where oxygen is not available, totally absent. In such conditions also some archaebacteria like methanogens survive, live happily, not survive, they live happily. The methanogens, methane, gens producers, they produce the methane, that is what we call biogas, produced from the dung, gobar gas. Archaebacteria possess different cell wall, plasma membrane, cell composition. These conditions enable them to live extreme habitats. They are living in very extreme habitats. In order to live in extreme conditions, the cell structure has undergone many modifications with respect to cell wall, with respect to plasma membrane, with respect to cytoplasmic contents, even DNA, and in different metabolic activities, they are different from other organisms. That's why Carl Lewis thought that these are separate organisms, should be given a status of separate domain. Eubacteria. Eu means, I told you, true bacteria. Possess a rigid cell wall made up of mucopeptide. Remember, mucopeptide, bacterial cell wall is made up of mucopeptide. The plant cell wall is made up of cellulose mainly. Maybe motile because of flagella, flagellated, or non-motile. If they are Atrachus bacteria, they are non-motile. Different well-known groups are cyanobacteria, heterotrophic bacteria, mycoplasma, cyanobacteria, heterotrophic bacteria, mycoplasma. Now let us see the characteristic features of these. Cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. Earlier they were included in Cyanophyceae of algae. Blue-green algae, cyanobacteria, now they are called oxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Oxygenic photosynthetic bacteria, or also known as blue-green algae. Maybe unicellular or filamentous or colonial. They form the colonies. Photosynthetic autotrophs. So they bear the chlorophyll, synthesize their own carbohydrates, thus they are autotrophic. Live in fresh water. Some are reported from fresh water, some in sea water, marine. Some are terrestrial. Some live in polluted waters. Polluted water with urban waste, where the blue-green algae divide and profusely produce the cells and other things. Thus they form the blooms. The water gets a particular color, very green color, sometimes a red color. Because of the profuse growth of the blue-green algae in water, the water gets the color of bacteria. That is called algal bloom. Colonies are surrounded by gelatinous sheath. That's why wherever they grow, for example, if they grow on rocks, it will be slippery. fix the nitrogen. Some of the cyanobacterial members fix the nitrogen in specialized cells called heterocysts. Try to remember this, heterocysts. Examples: nostoc, anabina, oscillatoria, cytonema. This is a typical cyanobacterium, a filamentous form. This is nostoc. You can see the filaments are covered by mucilaginous sheath. These are actinides to survive under harsh conditions, unfavorable conditions for vegetative propagation. Then centroplasm, chromoplasm, the cytoplasm is differentiated. These are vegetative cells. These are heterocysts, wherein the nitrogen fixation takes place. Nitrogenase is situated. Because of these cells, this organism is able to fix the atmospheric nitrogen. Therefore, such species are used as biofertilizers. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria. There are some bacteria, they are autotrophs, but at the same time they are not chlorophyllous. They do not bear the chlorophyll. By another process known as chemosynthesis, they synthesize their own food materials. How do they get or how do they prepare their food materials? They oxidize energy-rich inorganic substances. When they oxidize the energy-rich inorganic substances, some energy will be released. That energy they utilize. The reducing power will be generated. For example, what are the substances that are oxidized? Ammonia, which is in reduced form, nitrites, still in reduced form, sulfides, highly reduced sulfur compounds. These are oxidized by some bacteria. They are called ammonifying bacteria, nitrifying bacteria, sulfur bacteria. They play a significant role in cycling of nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. Ammonifying bacteria, nitrifying bacteria, sulfur oxidizers, iron bacteria, they come under the chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria. Cyanobacteria and chemosynthetic bacteria are autotrophic, but many of the bacteria are heterotrophic. They are dependent on others. They cannot synthesize their own food materials. Most abundant in nature in all types of habitats. Decomposers, their ecological role is decompose. They decompose the dead bodies of plants and animals. Beneficial, some of them are beneficial. For example, lactobacillus species make the curd. The milk is fermented and it ultimately forms the curd. That process is brought about by lactobacillus. Antibiotics. Streptomyces with many species produces very interesting, powerful antibiotic, streptomycin. These are very widely used. Then nitrogen fixation, for example, rhizobium, a very good nitrogen fixation, making symbiotic with association with legume plants. Some of them are harmful. Some bacteria are plant pathogens. For example, Xanthomonas citri causes citrus canker, very common disease wherever the citrus orchards are grown. Human pathogens cause the cholera, typhoid, tetanus, TB, and many more. So some are beneficial, some are harmful, cause the diseases of our crop plants, human diseases, animal diseases. Mycoplasma. Myco means fungus, plasma. They are known by different names like, listen me carefully, mycoplasma-like organisms, MLO. Mycoplasma-like organisms, or Pleromynia-like organisms, PPLO, Pleromynia-like organism. Plant pathogenic, some mycoplasma species are pathogenic. They cause the diseases of plants. They are called phytoplasma to differentiate from the mycoplasma infecting the humans and animals. Phytoplants. Mycoplasma lack a cell wall. That is an important feature. Mycoplasma without cell wall. There is no cell. Because there is no cell wall, there is no definite shape. If there is a rigid cell wall, they maintain a definite shape. But here there is no cell wall. You try to remember this point. Mycoplasma cause plant and animal diseases. Smallest organism is Mycoplasma genitalium. Very smallest organism. Now, lot of work is going on this Mycoplasma genitalium. From molecular biology point of view, people are trying to produce or create an artificial mycoplasma from different chemicals. So, this is the end of Monera. Then we will, next session, we will take up the protista.